my debate in 3, 2, 1. At the end of the day, this motion is not merely about whether the parents are struggling financially or not, but rather the debate about whether whose side can help parents be happier and experience the life that they wanted. Both parents should agree that we want parents to achieve their goals to have a kid. However, the disagreement comes from government who focus too much on financial problems. There are 3 big things that have been done by the government team. First, they failed to prove the urgency of financial stability. Second, their work creates unclear solutions for the parents itself. Third, eventually our work is better because we realize the urgency of the parents who's eager to have kids, right? So, please, do not buy the argument. Okay, next, I have 4 more things or rebuttals of the government team. So, the first one is that, about their training. Here I want to say that they only say that parents don't want kids because they're not mentally ready or they have financial instability. But they didn't really frame why they don't want to have kids and only saying that the parents wants to be ready mentally and financially without explaining it, knowing fully in their own people side that they're eager to have kids in the first place. They also say that the kids will experience bad parenting, knowing fully that they will be successful, so both sides is not urgent at all. Somehow, they're believing that the kids will feel bad and not need to have to reply, repay, and then they don't have empathy. But they also say that it will impact badly for society. Here I want to ask the government team to please explain clearly why the bad impacts will be for the society, because they failed to explain it in their speakers. And then they did not also explain why the kid will feel bad or not have empathy without realizing that the parents are so eager that they're willing to take anything, even be abandoned by the kid itself. And thirdly, the third speaker create a new argument about Indonesia, which is very narrow. Here I want to say, also say that the financial impacts which are not actually urgent in this debate. Okay, they also say the last thing about domestic abuse. Here I want to say again that that is not urgent. Why? Because the parents will have good parenting. Why? Because they're so eager to have kids at the first place. And in the people side, it's already said that the kids will be successful. How can bad parenting lead to a successful kid at all? So please go with the argument. Now, the crisis of parenting, I will say that there are 3 classes that I agree. The first one is that which work actually works. Second, which parent will be happier. And third, what incentives emerge at the end of the day. First, they rely only on the problems of financial, but honey, it doesn't work that way. Okay? It's right out because parents in this case who's eager to have kids lacks the incentive to give up their homes just as the kids will leave this eventually. Second, parents is more likely to be grateful of the kids because also they want kids at the beginning so. And thirdly, their mechanism make it difficult to parents feeling happy at all, resulting in a rich people they should have wanted and will have to have more regret at the end of the day. Meanwhile, our mechanisms are more realistic because we know that the kid will leave, but after all, they get the kid that they want. Therefore, they usually prefer our side because we give more realistic mechanism at the end of the day. The second process is which parents will be happier at the end of the day. The biggest stakeholder in this debate are actually parents. Under government, they suffer because they will feel regret or not having kids just because of financial instability and assume that parents are not mentally ready. This matters more because these stakeholders are more vulnerable, more dependent on having kids, and less likely of recovery of the harms of not having kids. By giving them the chance of having kids, we actually give a better life for their parents. Government only thinks of the financial problems without saying about the happiness or interest of the parent itself. Thus, we protect them better. And then the third class is what incentives emerge. If we compare the world, in Gulf world, then parents becomes more likely to feel bad and regret on their decision of not having a kid. And people will eventually live a life full of sorrow over time. Why? Because raising parents that are not happy at the end of the day will be done by the government team. And so, our side, if is not exclusive. If we look back, parents without exclusivity is that as parents, we get to experience the joy on having a kid we eagerly want. This is because parents become more likely to feel grateful of the chance of having a kid, a successful kid at the end of the day, even though we know that one day they'll live. Over time, this creates parents that are more aware of the time they have left. They will be more grateful on having a kid because of how eager they are and more what they feel to achieve this because they also think about the financial problems. Okay, before that, any guys? Yes.
Ay, lama ga-extend
So you persuade your parents to give anything to their child to the point of poverty. I think I see clearly that poverty or financial issues are not urgent, so I will not answer your request. Okay, here we're going to bite the bullet that maybe the parents will feel sad or distant after the kid left, but at least they know the kid is successful and happy, which makes the parents' nature to have a happy kid bigger than the birth itself. This trade-off is preferable compared to government who will regret on not having a kid for the rest of their life just because the kid will leave them later. This impacts badly because first, they want to know how it feels to be parents. They do not want to be parents at all, leaving a burden of regret of not having parents and feeling terrible seeing other parents having kids on their own while the government world does not have, which leads to more growth in their side. Once this happens, it becomes difficult to reverse because we realize in the infant side that the parents are so eager to have kids because of not having kids at all. They will be more happier at living in, will be more grateful and living in constant grief and won't have a happy life in their life at all. And then at the end of the day, government needs to prove that without kids, the parent will feel happier in life. However, they never actually successfully explain why the trade-off is better than a kid who will leave you. And then, that decision will lead to happier parents and why the proof of not having kids is good after all. Meanwhile, our side constantly prove that with the kids on our side, we as parents will already be grateful and will less likely to feel the proof of regret or not having kids on the government side. And then our mechanisms are better because we realize that with the fulfillment of parents' eagerness to have kids, they get to experience the life they wanted. Because we know first parents will feel regret if we don't have kids. Second, we will have an unhappy life if we don't have kids. So we grant them an experience they'll never regret after all because they get the life they want, which is having good kids, right? Even if our world is imperfect, it remains comparatively better because first, we are more impactful. Second, we are more sustainable.